Good morning and welcome. It's Tuesday, the 31st of May, the last day of May. I am Flat Cap Callum and I'm hoping you are all very, very well. Okay, today we will do a review of yesterday. We've got a normal stake-in day, so I've got a £20 deck of bets today. 4 bets, 3 lucky 15s and some crosswork. Yeah, we'll see how we get on. There's a few races today I quite liked. I think there's a bit of value around in a few of them, so I've been quite selective. I'm happy with what we've got today. So we will see if we can turn the tide, because we are on a pretty poor run, it has to be said. I think we're 8 days loss in a row, which is never a good place to be. And we are last day of the month, and overall all sports, I think, 10 down for the month. So we need 30 back today to carry on the run of profitable months. If we don't make that, May will be our first month of losing on the channel in terms of unprofitability. Still in plenty of profit for the year, but it would be really nice to pull it out of the bag today and get over the line. But there's no guarantees in this game when it's going to quite change. So what did we have yesterday? It was a bit good, bad and ugly, I would say. 3.45, so the first one out, that was disappointing. Then in the Ballinrobe, 6.50, pounds bomb placed. And then the 7.20, that went on a massive drifter and ultimately pulled up. And then 7.50, no logic, was coming into it and slipped up. And I mentioned in my review on the comments last night, in the 6.50 and the 7.50, you had horses slip up on the bend. The commentator didn't mention either. Didn't mention what happened to them. I don't know if it's like a sensitive thing now that the commentators aren't even mentioning it, just in case a meeting gets abandoned. But if it was flat and it was in the UK, that meeting would have got turned off. But in Ballinrobe, they cracked on. So yeah, despite 2 horses slipping up on a bend in 2 different races, they did finish out the meeting. So we only got Powers Bomb place there. So nothing else back from that one. And in bet 2, equally fast. I think I wasn't happy with the ride of the first 2 at all in those. Biacardi ran out on its own, and yeah, it was, sometimes you can, very occasionally you see a horse do that and it does well, but it ran on its own, didn't do so well. Equally fast had the best draw and didn't make the most of it. Then Royal Countess ran really, really well and only was not far off winning it, was second. And then a Sure Welcome race went down to 6, and Sky still paid 3 places. So if you did bet with Sky Bet, you actually got a place double, albeit there was a 30p rule 4 deduction on Sure Welcome at 5-1. So it paid back a couple of quid, but if you didn't have it with Sky, you didn't really miss out. So, what have I got today? I've concentrated on a couple of races at Newbury, a couple at Thirsk and some Ballinrobe, and then there's a decent handicap at Tipperary, but I haven't really gone and rummaged in there, and I'll explain why. So, we are starting off here. This is the slightly smaller stake Lucky 15, but there's a number of races, namely these 3. I've got 2 in each race. So they'll come onto a different bets as well. So we're going to start off with a shorty here, 240 Newbury. That's my filler bet of the day. So if you were doing, from a Lucky 15 perspective, if you want to play a bit of big prices, that looks the most solid at a reasonable enough price to at least make the frame. So we're starting there, 240 Wonderful Times, 130. And then we're going into the 440 Newbury Amethyst 10s, 622 at Thirsk, Captain Vallo 12s, that's just come in the last hour. And then 827 Saffron 7-1. I would say all the bets I've got today are better with Sky Bet from an extra place point of view. So every single one of these bets has something that makes Sky Bet paying extra places on more, at least 1 or 2 of the races in each combination. So you will get better prices out elsewhere. But in terms of kind of safer rather than necessarily trying to aim to get the best price, they're slightly better with Sky Bet, I would say, today. So that is bet 1, and that's an 18p each way Lucky 15. Then bet 2 is very similar, different first leg. Nelly Moon was starting there, the 310 at Newbury, Nelly Moon at 12s. And then the next 3 races, same 3 races as the last Lucky 15. Got Vape 440, 11 to 1 at Newbury, and then the 6.22 Thirsk, Hail Caesar at 14s, 8.27 Thirsk, Mutanasek 12s. I've done that as a 20p. So this is my favourable one in terms of there's more value in it. But there's not much different, not a huge difference in it, but there's more value in this bet. So I've done it as a slightly bigger stake. 20p each way, lucky 15 on this one for bet 2. And then I've taken my two preferred races. They're not the best races, in terms of statistically speaking, but in terms of what I liked. So I've decided to do cross doubles. I was looking at cross trebles. I was looking at all sorts of different combinations, and in the end, I've landed on this because I've already done these in lucky 15s. I didn't want to put too much stake into it, so I've just taken the 440 Newbury, 6.22 Thirsk. So 440 Newbury, Vape and Amethyst, 6.22 Thirsk, Hail Caesar, Captain Vallo. 4 cross 20p each way double. So in your bet slip, you put all 4 in, and then it should find doubles, and it should say times 4 and 20p each way. It should make it £1.60. So just a small bit on there because I've already done the lucky 15s. But as I said, I was looking at it, and I've got other races with 2 horses, and in the end, that was what I was happy with. So that's what we've got there. As I said, all bet are off with Sky Bet today for extra places. And then bet 4 is my Irish bet for today, and I'm having a real go at some prices in this one to start with. So the 4.35 Ballinrobe Hope de Blins 20 to 1. So 5 runner race. Really, it's a 4 runner race because one of them would have a nag in the context of the race. And there's just so much value that should be. I think I'd make it 8-9 to 1 in that race. So I want to have a go at 20s because it's on the 4th favourite. But I don't think that price does that horse justice at all. If there is a non-runner in that race, or if that horse comes out, then I would be putting in this as a substitute 3.10 Newbury Nelly Moon that I've already had in bet 2. So if there is a non-runner in this race and it goes down to 4 runners, take this out, or don't put it in if you haven't got there, and put Nelly Moon in the 3.10 Newbury in this bet instead, because I arguably would have put a little bit more stake on that horse. And then we're going to go in the 2 big handicaps. And the thing to flag here with these handicaps of Ballinrobe, Sky are 5 on both. Not everybody is. But these are much, much better quality races than what was at Ballinrobe yesterday. So it's a decent quality meeting at Ballinrobe today. So I'm much happy with generally the racing, because when you've got better quality, more horses are giving it a better effort, if you catch my drift. So 5.35, I'm going to go I can't say it. It's not even that hard to pronounce. Matt Gilloni. I think I've said that right. 33s, and the 6.35 Revelin Pleasure, which we've backed before at 28. So just think those are both overpriced, and they've definitely got a decent chance of making the frame. But they're the kind of ones that are borderline, that I do sometimes, that on paper they might be the horse that comes 6th and we want it to come 5th. They're that sort of ilk of horse. I think they're unlikely winners, but they definitely got overpriced in terms of making the frame. So they do come with a health warning. And then the 7.45 at Tipperary, it's the big field of the day. Sky are 6 on that. Most other bookies are 5. And I've had a real good look around the prices. And there's just too many what I would call lurkers in there. So horses that on paper, first glance, you would ignore, but you look into it and you think, because of the trainer, because of something it did once, they got a bit of a something or other, and it's a low quality race. So I'm playing it safe, and I put Lariat in when I did my bets last night at 6s. It's now 4 to 1 favourite. I'd rather keep that in because I've got 3 big prices. There are days when you go, do you know what, we just chuck all big prices in together. But I think that's the safest, solidest horse of the race. And I'd rather have that to try and hit at least a double, hopefully a treble, amazingly a quad, with this bet. So, that's the way I've done it. I played it safe because I think there's too many lurkers that could spring a surprise. And there's a lot of market movement overnight with horses going from 50s to 20s and stuff like that. So, sticking solidly with Lariat for that race. Certainly not a bet I would put on single, not at all. But for the context of this, hopefully I've made that clear. So it's 20p each way, lucky 15, and then I'm going to go for it with a 50p each way double on these 2, because if we can get a place double on that, that's a really nice bet to try and land. Quite hard to do. We've managed it before. We've had a lot of tours where we haven't managed it. Okay, that is what I've got. So £20 is our stake today, last day of the month. We need £30 and about 10p to come back in if we are going to make a profit for this month. It's not all about that. It just would be nice because it's nice makes it all even when we can say we've made profit every month. But yeah, we will see. But yeah, it surprised me, to be honest. I went and looked at the race and I was like, actually, some of it's quite good and some of it's actually decent quality. So yeah, happy with what we've got. Most of it's later on in the day. That is me. Tomorrow I'll be back. Reminder, tomorrow is my last video until Saturday. So I'm doing a video tomorrow, Wednesday. It will be the normal bets. It might have something for Thursday, Friday. It will have the golf. The golf is almost ready to go. I'm just waiting Sky Bet to price it up because they haven't priced up what I wanted yet. But I'm happy with the golf bet. We've got a nice lucky 15 that I think looks good. And I'm also going to do a couple, just 2 singles, and I'm going to do a little tricksy across the 3 tournaments this week. I've done them in the past, and then I stopped doing them, and then this week I'm like, yeah, I'm going to give it a go this week. So we've got a small tricksy on the golf as well. And then Thursday and Friday, no video, back on Saturday for Derby Day. All right, you enjoy your day. Let's all please just focus on positive energy to try and break this crappy little run that we're on, because it would be nice to have something to cheer about on the channel. Even a winner. We've had one 15-8 winner, I think it was, in the last 8 days. So yeah, a winner would be exciting, but actually profitableness is really what we're aiming for. It goes like this. You know this, most of you, and I appreciate the fact that even though I'm on a really, really bad run, I haven't got tons of abuse, just small amounts. So I'll take the small amounts because I know the vast majority of you understand completely the strategy I'm doing and can look at the statistics of the previous months and go, oh yeah, he's all right. He's just having a bit of a nightmare. Okay, I'll stop it there. Enjoy your day and I'll see you in the morning. Thank you very much. Cheerio.